Good afternoon, and we got some LPL again. This time we're looking at TES versus BLG, since we know that TES is the qualifier for first stand. I just want to get a little bit more information on them, because the series that we saw is not nearly enough, and BLG are the consistent contenders, both for like top 4 world spots and for the LPL. So how did they beat them? I mean, that's like what I'm really curious on, because I didn't watch BLG really at all during this split, other than knowing that they lost to Thunderhawk, which is a team they should never lose to. And I don't know, it's just, it would seem really weird for them to lose a best of series against TES based on what I saw from the finals. But maybe there's something more to it. So looking at the matchups, Corki, Rel versus Ezreal, Alistar. Yeah, I don't think you really want to play that lane as BLG's bot lane. Rumble's okay. And you're probably okay with a swap, with Rumble in a swap. You have an advantageous mid laner that you can move around with, which is good. But the Rumble may just go into mid lane to soak XP. If they play standard, it's fine. Like, I mean, it's not like the end of the world. It's just probably not the preferred situation for BLG.
Big match ahead of these two teams. Big best of 5 as well. I know we were talking about the picture a little earlier, but the fact it's only 3-1, we'll have 2 people voting for a full 5-game series, kind of speaks a little bit to the level that both of these teams are playing.
It looks like Alistar's just going to get a ward for the Rumble, and they're not. These guys are going to swap. Really? So these guys are blind swapping in anticipation that they're going to... The BLG are going to swap?
It is help 369 and best against early Rumble, or if they just want Jackie to get his fed as possible, both junglers towards the top side, so unlikely to get any vertical jungling in any situations. 369 going very aggressive here, trying to get that experience on the first 3 million, and we'll be able to do so.
That's all you gotta do when you're playing top lane now.
Interesting.
I
would not have expected that.
We saw that Bin in mid lane was trying to help Aurora, especially in Cream matchup. The fact that Cream is half HP, we're playing on 4, 3, which has the electric upgrade on it, so Knight already having Cream at half is pretty dangerous, and so I want to see maybe after the waves already crashed and it comes back to BLG, if Wave will
I like that Rel decides to go recover 369. Definitely the preferred situation, so he doesn't just like die. I will say that Seju's padding down here, so technically she could recover. The downside is, and I've talked about this before in other videos, that Corki loses to Rumble. Like, in a 1v1, like, Corki can die. So that's the only downside of these assignments. And then, obviously, you know, it's not like they're really going to do much in bot lane, so... Kinda sucks he lost so much HP. I mean, that's it, bro. Like, he... I mean, I don't know what he's doing here in that trade, because it's like, you already got the creeps, none of the other creeps are in danger of being last hit, so just chill out. But he doesn't do it. So he has to TP, when he didn't really, shouldn't have had to TP. The Rumble is thriving. Seju stayed on the map, so she'll do Raptors into Krugs and base. And the Xin Zhao is already on the map. It's actually a little surprising that if you look from when he's coming from base, Rel is showing. And this guy held the wave. He could have looked through lane and just created a situation, and the Corki's not going to do nearly as much as the Rumble. But he didn't bother checking on it, so and now it's too late. Now he's coming, but like, yeah, now it's too late. So he kind of just wasted his time. Way, you know, in bot lane, it looks like they're trying to overforce situations again. Their 2v2 is pretty odd. It's pretty odd. Doesn't do too much into the Alistar. Grubs are in 30. Grubs are in 30, and these guys are heading bot. If the Mbessa is this late to topside, why not just send your duo top? The Corki also, I mean, they should definitely do that, by the way, because the Corki got solo XP, right? So he's level 5 to level 4. You want to fight them. Like, if they play for Grubs, you want to fight it. So, yeah, it would be way better if they ran up here, and then Mbessa was going bot again, which... yeah, the wave is bouncing out. You're prone to dying. It is what it is. But, I mean, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And they don't have an idea on where the swap's gonna go. It's just a guessing game at this point. So at that point, I'd rather just guess topside and get the grubs. The way they're doing this is they're sending Mbessa top, who crash the wave, and then having these guys mid with Akali TP on. But to me, it's like, is that really worth it? Because the Mbessa would have been bought already, and they knew that these guys were hella late on bot lane. Really late. And if Rumble shows, who cares? Not a big deal.
We're seeing the 80 carries.
And Aurora definitely did not have the TP.
80 carry bot lane for BLG.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't mind that. And of course, the Rumble could TP for the grubs, but it would be not too likely if Mbessa was that ahead on the map. Like, if she's like already shoving this wave and Rumble's coming down, like, it's not really good for him to TP at that point. Like, the TP's slow, not ideal. And then they can just run through here, and it looks better. And this guy was always going to do wolves and move over. And if the Kali really wanted to, I mean, she like, did she have the TP? Not necessarily, but yeah, she could have TP'd on the mid wave. So it would have looked better for TES.
Pushing this wave and then maybe
so they're eyeing them. They got nothing in the tank, and the Rumble's in their face with level 6. Doesn't really look fun.
But there's no ult for 369 here, so I think this is a losing
Wade's got the second as well. Equalizer does come over the top with the Between Worlds of Night as well.
I mean, like, they used their CEs and they killed Chris, but that's like...
The teleport is all too late from Cream on the Apollo. First blood to BLG, and they can head right back to the grubs to finish that one up.
Why isn't TES trying to commit towards the bottom side?
It's kind of odd. Like I said, I feel like you just needed better like matchups in this. Like, she could jump in, but like Akali would have to already be TPing. Rel goes in, but you have no 6s. They literally have Aurora 6, Rumble 6. Like, it's just... It just doesn't look good. I just can't see how you fight it without having, like, being on the grubs first. And the upside of this would have been that, like, you know, if Rumble did shift upwards and your Mbessa was just bot, you could just give up the grubs at that point, and at least your Mbessa's still bot, right? Elk just kills himself. And 369's sitting on the ward, so it's like...
Him and Knight being on the same team. Oh!
Okay, 369 gonna try to answer back.
Well, that just shouldn't happen. I mean, that literally should not happen, ever. Well, that was crafty. Because the ward was... The thing is, he knew that they were moving near him, so he just still didn't think there was a ward there.
Yeah, 369. He was sitting on a ward, and now On comes in here with the headbutt pulverized combo. That is the trade.
That hurts. He's gonna hit the turret for quite a bit now. And so it looks like the Corki and the Rel are moving up to defend the top turret. Oh, he TP'd. Okay, so the Corki didn't have the full shift over for it. Elk has no flash, and Rumble has no flash as well, so that would be your hitting points. And the grubs are coming up again. The Seju's pretty late on this base. What does he have? Dude, that's not worth it. That's not worth it. He should just stay on the map. The Seju, especially because the Corki's already on the map. The Akali is getting a push now, which it seems like Cream is behind on his base.
Perfect fight.
String forward. Yes. Down just one that's open. Very good spot.
Yeah, he's behind on his base, so maybe that's why the Seju's decided to space anyways herself. But I feel like he could just, like, based on the items he got, would just be here already. Like, maybe you would already be trying to steal a grub at this point.
If they can make it and they're obviously very strong already, but it's first of them on the play.
So he stole one.
So see how many grubs BLG can grab.
They get at least one, so that means that the feat of strength will not go BLG's
and they're gonna
way.
Get the other
it seems like that's all the top.
But it's first. If they can make this play without Akali, then I think they're obviously very strong already. But
well, the Rumble has a very annoying positioning. I will say that.
But it's first
Chris just doesn't show on here. So It's just because everyone's leaving though, and they're too scared because the Mbessa's in a bad position.
On mid, he's getting top
Flanks. How do we fight for TES?
a little bit by.
Okay, in many ways,
This was like not even
Actually, with
it probably would have been better for. I mean, the Corki should move up, and the Corki should take over top. For one, it's actually really not ideal that the Corki's not laning into the Ezreal when he had the level advantage, right? You had a level advantage from the soul lane, and then you're just never matching, not matching? Question mark? Because I had talked about it on the first grubs where they could swap for it. They didn't do it. And so they're still not matching the enemy dual lane, and they're sending Mbessa into it. Mbessa's way better playing on mid. So, like, Mbessa here, dual lane actually can fight them off and maybe even get priority. Just looks way better. But they don't do it this way.
taking them out from
It's just, what are you supposed to do? Because she's cut off. She can't join the team. And these guys are even like pushing them off. They rotate members to defend. This guy ints. Okay, you kill them because he inted. Great. No one's touched a dragon yet. It seems compared to when I watched ERLs, or LEC, there's more priority on the grubs, which aligns towards my thinking compared to like LEC where there was a lot of dragon priority. Like that was like the most important thing to that. It's not a bit for Herald. So at this point, this is like the stage of the game where like you look to fish for summoners. The Corki's really low. And it's a cannon wave, so this is the Corki's base timer. Corki should not do this. He probably has Triforce, and that's why he's doing this, but ideally, the Corki will base here. So that he can actually come back on the map fresh, but still not there. Really burn the wave like that, huh? Interesting. Yeah, he had Triforce, so all in all, it turned out pretty well for them. But it's like one of those cases where, you know, you can note when you have a base timer, it's ideal for the team, but at the same time, it's like, if I don't get this item, like, it's just not gonna be great for the next 2-3 minutes. So just sack whatever this round is. It is what it is, and I'll get my item. And it has to be a difference maker, and yeah, Triforce is a difference maker. So Herald's coming up, and these guys are boosting on mid before them, and because the problem is, they have perma priority on push, so like they always have push blue side. They can then sit in this section the entire time. And so they keep pressuring in like this area, which then in return forces these guys to answer this and like defend, right? So like they're always going towards top to defend, and then they swing back mid. We get push again, we go back top. Like it's just over and over and over again. And it's really annoying. They're not getting sums. Like, no sums are really being blown. Everyone's, like, poised to play for this fight at maximum capacity. So, yeah, it'll be a pretty important fight when it ends. Like, this probably will be the big difference maker in how mid-late is done. So they just lost it. They didn't even try to fight it. So we have to delay that again. Should they have fought it? I mean, they have no vision. Dragon comes up in 50. At this point, the Alistar could just hit B. Like, I mean, they could still contest maybe, but the Alistar could actually start basing in fog just to see if anything's gonna happen.
Now we're seeing it,
and just keep channeling his base over and over again.
Seems like TS
and when the Sedgwick shows like this, now he should definitely just base in fog.
They've got Trinity Force to make it a lot easier. Maybe they try
and then by the time he completes his base,
there's nothing that they can do
he's
about
back
it
on the map for bot side. For off. He doesn't, so he's even tempo or a little bit behind. And since all the vision was layered on top side, there shouldn't be much on bot side, which now this is the fight that TES will take. Now will BLG actually... Ooh. Okay, so we're actually going to take the fight as BLG.
They are finally here first into the river, which
The Aurora base, she has a buy. It's not crazy buy, but she has a buy.
Has been able to get to first. Problem is,
the Rumble shifting over.
Unfortunately, Cream is not there as well, so they don't feel super strong to just start this objective off, and it's actually
so they keep going on Crisp. So
first, and the Equalizer finds a beautiful
the Equalizer was not the greatest.
Teleport comes in from Cream, but it might just be too late.
But it did give them the kill. I do like how they play this though, because one issue that can happen is like when he does this engage on Crisp. Crisp in theory could just engage on these two, and then you just fight it, right? I wonder if that's the worst. No one's hitting the Corki if that happens. And the Aurora's late.
Actually on, that is going to go in first, and the Equalizer finds a...
Actually, the Equalizer's a little bit better than I thought.
Here in the jungle, Teleport is going to go in first, and the...
I mean, no one's even trying to fight this. It's just a little odd, I guess. Like...
Fortunately, Cream is not there as well, so they don't...
He could definitely just stun the Alistar. They could back off a little bit. Or he just throws the R at Xin Zhao, but then again, the Alistar has entry to that. It's a little awkward. Maybe they just can't play on this pink.
To get to first. Problem is,
I think that might be the error. I think Mbessa needs to come over here. And I think these guys can poke a little bit and then retreat. And that's how you play it. I don't think they can actually cover this
Cream is not there
that well. Because it's just really awkward with how this is split.
Super strong.
Unless this guy was going to just like R the Rumble, right? Like, I'm going to press R in the Rumble, I'm going to go, and then we're going to engage ourselves.
To just start this objective off, and it's actually on. That is going
what all
to go
BLG is doing is just like, okay, first target, just hit, they run away, and then we just chase after. And that's it. That's all they're really doing. They did it twice.
And the sequence of play kind of sets them up the next couple of minutes afterwards. I don't think they get some summoner spells out from TES, but they'll do crashing with the Herald. BLG's game one has looked nothing less than amazing here as they open up this best of 5 with a full court press on the top side, completely ransacking any of these objectives from TES. And honestly, this top sports rosters in this game one have not been able to get much done on the map. This starts off with the engagement first, didn't go on anybody. The Equalizer splits up the fight. 369 finds out Cream's already too late to this play, and he still ends up going down to the back end of this. So, I mean, TES are just losing more and more and more every single fight. It doesn't seem like much is going their way in this game.
It seems like Copy Sport are just letting BLG engage on the first when they have first move, and it is not paying off for that. That's now the second fight this game where Cream has been late on the teleport, and it ends up costing them big time here. Cream almost getting enough damage here, but Elf really popping off the back end of the fight.
Flash and arcane shift forward. He wants to squeeze every little bit of damage he can in this series. He knows he's going against a legend here in the LPL versus Jackie Love. And we know a little bit about how he character in similar fights. We look at this now. Training force done. Murmur now completed. Jackie Love's not even close to it right now. So anywhere that LPL TES wants to try to avoid it, hope that they can get into a position.
They're probably just going to be waiting at this point for the TPs to come online, and this is actually why you see people showing on bot side. I can't believe they actually cleaned them like that. But they're showing on bot side because there's no TPs, right? So you don't want to necessarily do Otacon until TPs come online. They're doing like a quick play on this guy. I like that Elk came down here. Because Elk pushed the wave and he still has priority. And again, because they don't have any vision up here, right, for red side, it's like a big question mark on like this area outside of this little ward here. Yeah, they had no idea this guy just ran down here. That was smart. Like, he could have leaned top to get this, but he actually leaned bot. And that made a difference.
Instead,
yeah, it definitely made a difference.
Is available. They end up picking it up, but we get 2-for-1 in response, and Elk is able to match beautifully with Equalizer and cut damage as well.
This game gets more and more frustrating, honestly. Like, TES, they're bashing their head, they're trying to find something.
And at the same time, Jackie Love thought he couldn't contest. Oh, no, he just got blue. Okay, I thought he went to go to the Wolves, but no, he didn't.
Yeah, not every single play that they've gone for has not worked out for them. Instead, BLG really pushing the tempo, having that go in their favor. They've now claimed all 3 of the outer turns, been picking up the bottom side tier 1, and they have full control of this map right now. They beat by for 5,000 gold. And this is BLG, all that we were expecting to see in the season. I think overall, that Thundercloud series is now looking closer to an anomaly than the norm here for this team. How clean they've been.
Okay, so this was really just Elk in the area, gets a free red buff from on the jungler, and he tried to force on the top side of the map.
He actually went down for the red. That's so funny. I actually thought he just ran down because he was just being 5-head, but he actually just did it because it was red. And the timer just was unfortunate for TES. That's too funny. Oh my god. I love it when something like that happens and I try to think that it's like a big brain play, but the reality is the player wasn't really thinking much about it. It just happened that way. So far, I gotta say, the Ezreal pick is definitely the MVP pick for this game right now. Like, this permanent control that they have around mid, like, TES is not able to do anything. They're rarely first on objectives, they're rarely first on, like, I mean, they're not first on midways, they're not first on objectives, they're not doing any pulls on mid with Sejuars, so they're not burning an Ezreal's cleanse ever. So he always has full sums, because we're not doing anything around mid. Full sums. We're going into side for these guys, because, I mean, we have good side laners, but they're matching us, so we're also doing nothing. Like, there's nothing going for them in this game.
Starting up this dragon, teleport comes in preemptively from 369, so top esports want to fight this. They land the stun briefly onto On, but not a ton of damage has been dealt just yet. Now the engage is onto Kanavi. He's ticking. Oh, big engage.
It's a nice look by Crisp, because this time Crisp is like hanging back.
Instead, it's BLG.
And as On, like, he doesn't need to do anything. Like, yeah, he really doesn't need to do anything.
They land the stun briefly onto On, but not a ton of damage has been dealt.
And he definitely should not combo the Seju there.
A big engage from Chris, but the equalizer is buying so much time, and that's Crescent Guard in from Way is huge. The Between Worlds are going to do a ton of damage, but right now Cream still able to do a bit here. He's picked himself up a double kill, but will get burned down here by Knight. Jackie Love, the last remaining survivor, and it will be all.
So, the way this fight played out, like I said, I think comboing the Sejuani is not ideal. It's a good first look here. The Kali goes in. The Xin Zhao R was massive. Like, it actually just... Everyone was sitting here. It spread them all out to, like, push them out and buy some space. And, yeah, that's big.
Equalizer is buying so much time, and that's Crescent Guard.
Everyone gets hit by the Aurora R now.
The Between Worlds are going to do a ton of
yeah,
damage,
for Elk, it's, like, not... I mean, the only problem is, like, it's not ideal because it does push everyone right on top of Elk. And Elk probably needed a shift to Knight versus the left. He needs a shift to the right. But it's hard to figure out if that was the right play or not.
The Between Worlds are going to do a ton of damage, but right now Cream.
And what can Jackie Love do?
Kanavi, he's ticking. Oh, big engage from briefly onto On, but not a ton of damage has been dealt just yet. Now the engage is onto Kanavi, he's ticking. Oh, big engage from Chris.
Jackie Love kind of screwed that up, no?
Now the engage is onto Kanavi, he's ticking.
Like, obviously Aurora's coming here.
Oh, big engage from...
And... Did he? No, I don't think he did, though. It's just really odd. I mean, the Rumble R is just too good, no? Because he placed it here. If he W's up this way, then these two have access to him. If he W's this way, then he's out of the fight. If he W's this way, the Rumble R still cuts him off, and the Xin Zhao R eventually just pushes these guys away. So now, again, he's isolated. This is probably the best one, actually. I think the winner is going down. It's not easy to tell, but I think the winner is going down. Because what he did definitely puts him way too far out of the fight. Can't hit anything for ages, and it's already cleaned up by the time he joins, and then he dies. And that's it. That's the fight.
Alongside this Crescent Guard is not enough for TES, and they use all of this power to try to find the shutdown, try to get these kills. But even the solo lane, they're talking a lot about bottom lane, but Knight and Thing have been making sure they're getting resources, they're getting items, they're getting gold, and they're so damn powerful in this fight. They have the most damage in the team fight. I think it shows all we need to see.
That's what fighting Rumble in like a area.
Just cooking them with OPQ, like the flanks are insane.
And that ultimate way was also massive. Split off the rest of the front line for top esports away from Jackie Love. That was not nearly able to do enough damage to allow for top esports to win that fight. So now they're not even further than they were just a couple minutes ago. That's Dragon also going their way. Goldie has almost 8,000, and you're talking about having the time against Dragon against other than Jackie Love. That has changed a little bit. It's now over 1,000 Goldie for all three members of the top.
Otacon is still up.
Has been caught out and will be going down. That is certainly the icon, if not more.
Kanavi is just killing himself, which I've seen definitely quite a few times. I mean, if these guys are shifting up this way, in theory, we shouldn't be fighting through top. Like, it'd still be way better for them to fight through mid. And he just goes way too far, and he just just dies.
Okay, we found the damage on the way. Maybe there's an angle for TS to compete, but
It's kind of funny because TN was like always like played on for like doing these stupid things, and Konami's kind of just doing stupid things.
It's been 8 minutes now since we kind of called this game in favor of BLG. They're kind of finding some angles around this Baron. If it's a lucky steal from TS, it'll really delay the inevitable for them. And just BLG, man, they came to play. I think they very much took that kind of lost to TT stage we've been noting.
That's it, dude. That's it. That's the game. I can't see them getting back now. I know there's not a lot of dragon stacking going on in this, but I just can't see them winning. Like they have never been in a winning position for the most part in this entire game. Like this just has not been happening. And they've been on top of Chris, by the way. Like I have to say that On has been on with those moments. Bin's Rumble's been really good. I mean, I'm really curious how they won. Like this just is a rather good game by BLG. How did they win? Because like the MVP of this game is a little hard for me to tell. Like Elk did good. For sure Elk did good. And everyone did so fucking good. I think a lot of the looks honestly were on. Like On was moving the right way, and outside like maybe a few cases like spells are good. This guy's ulti's awesome. He did for the most part, he did pretty good. Knight, great. Oh, good. On, good. Crisp. Not really apparent. Kanavi, just bad. 369, kind of bad. Cream, I mean, you were like non-existent. Jackie Love, non-existent. Like it was just, they just got shit on. To say the least, they just got shit on. I don't even know who's the worst is. It's probably Kanavi in the end of the day, because he didn't do anything. There was no presence at all. No presence in the game. Didn't get sums ever. No sums. Like, we just slow lost. Slow lose. This is the worst thing. Smithy would always say this. The old TL jungler on FlyQuest, CLG, Smithy, the Sejuani ulti misser that people meme. But his number one thing that I remember he would say is, are we going to do something or are we going to slow lose? And the idea is just that, oh, well, I mean, like, if we're just defending and steadily giving ground and nothing's happening, what's the point of playing this game? Let's do something. Let's make something happen. So they needed to do that. Like, they had to make something happen. And then they just never did. Like, the only time Chris did one thing was in that one fight. And Ben just outplayed them. Like, Ben's ulti just made the situation utterly unplayable. Unfortunately, he was just that good. So hopefully this turns out better. I'm super curious how this goes in TES's favor. But BLG looked as expected.